With more than 17 million views of their YouTube trailer and over 1.2 million fans on Facebook, the first-person shooter Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 may be the most anticipated game in history.
Video games have evolved to where it's much more realistic, to where they are using real tactics, and it's not so much just the Rambo running out there.
A lot of smart minds go into that. And, you know, when they make these video games, they use that military experience and guys telling them, you know, the kit they wear, the tactics they use, the style of weapons.
This popularity has not gone unnoticed by military recruiters. The U.S. Army has spent nearly $33 million developing its own first-person game called America's Army. It is currently available as a free download from their website.
You know, the military is certainly switching its tactics and training to get the video game culture, these young guys now.
The young guys, they do come to this very well. They're very easy about it.
While the technology might look familiar to recruits, its purpose is much different. Army Chief Donald Campbell is in charge of simulation operations at Fort Eustis in Newport News, Virginia.
Not everything is combat related. You have to get to the combat. So how do you get there? You have to train, you got to sail. There's a lot of things that happen that get you there. That is one of the best benefits, I think, of simulations is the salvation of the real deployable equipment.
But it's not all about cranes and ships on the base. Called the Engagement Skills Trainer 2000, this simulator has become standard throughout the Army. It allows soldiers to practice their marksmanship when visiting a range may not be an option.
Soldiers may only go out 2 times a year. So when you can take soldiers and just schedule the EST 2000 to do the essentials of firing weapons, they become more comfortable with the weapon. They go out there and fire at the range, and they're a first-time go. Without that, you know, they might have been a 3rd or 4th time go.
At 99 acres, the Ballahack Airsoft Field is one of the largest on the East Coast. And owner Christopher Ratton says his sport is much closer to the real thing.
Airsoft is basically a sport that's evolved out of paintball. They turned paintball into woodsball, which is more scenario reenacting warfare style. You're playing the video game, and it doesn't get any better than that, but it can because you're actually playing it in person. You're dealing with real people.
Dr. Jennifer Ripley is the director of the Psi-D program at Regent University. She believes there may be a benefit to this style of game.
Physical ways of practicing war games and military style, paintball, those kinds of things. What's good about that is that there is exercise involved in it, and that is a good thing to be able to handle aggression.
It's a lot easier to do this than it is to do this and stay alive and communicate and cover your buddies.
When you can sit in an easy chair and play that video game is one thing. When you actually come out and do it, it's a wake-up call.
Don Shipley is a retired Navy SEAL senior chief who now runs the Extreme Navy SEAL Experience, a camp that gives attendees a glimpse into what life is like for the elite Special Forces unit.
Most guys get really super motivated when they come down here and do this training.
In a video game, you go in there and, you know, you're basically immortal. You're just mowing people down. But here, you take things a lot slower. There are tactics. You got guys depending on you, and you actually have to think, because there's not a respawn. In
the real world, you know, it's not a video game. You guys have to be able to distinguish through that what you do with a joystick in front of your computer versus a live weapon in Iraq or Afghanistan. 2 very different things. Now they are shooting back at you.
Dr. Ripley believes the style of gameplay may also be a cause for concern.
The realism of violence in video games has been very concerning to psychologists around the country because it's very clear that video games provide a script for aggression.
Ratton offers a similar caution to the millions of fans and followers seeking realism through video games.
When you're playing the video game like Modern Warfare, you're basically the Hollywood version of the military. It's very different in the real world than in the video games, and I have a lot of friends that have made that very clear to me. It's very serious when you're out there.